Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Amy McIntosh, Managing Editor of Stormwater Solutions. Welcome to today's webinar, CleanWay Environmental Partners Stormwater Filtration Solutions Session, presented by CleanWay Environmental Partners. This webinar will cover the efficient removal of chemicals and heavy metals from stormwater at commercial and industrial sites. CleanWay manufactures stormwater catch basins, downspouts, curb inlet filters, absorption booms, and a proprietary filter medium, MetalZorb. Today's speakers will share what distinguishes CleanWay Environmental Partners from the competition. We'll get started in a few minutes, but first, a little housekeeping. Today's attendees will receive a certificate of completion via email after the webinar ends. At the end of the webinar, you will also be asked to complete a short survey. We appreciate your time and taking a few moments to answer the questions. You'll notice on your console you have the ability to ask questions. We encourage questions and will answer them at the end of the webinar based on time availability. There is also a resource tab on your viewing console. CleanWay has provided some documents you may like to download. Our speakers today are Bridget Garlinghouse, Technical Sales Engineer at CleanWay Environmental Partners, and Matt Moulton, General Manager. A recent graduate in environmental engineering from California Polytechnic State University, Bridget Garlinghouse participated in a multi-year graduate research project for the city of San Luis Obispo's wastewater treatment plant regarding the use of algae in the treatment process and as a biofuel. She also focused on wastewater treatment during internships at the wastewater treatment plants in Silverton, Oregon, and Walnut Creek, California, and with the county of San Luis Obispo in its NPDES General MS4 permit compliance effort. Since joining CleanWay in 2005, Matt Moulton has designed, tested, patented, and brought to market many innovative and effective products, ranging from retrofit stormwater filtration devices to complete wastewater treatment systems for the removal of heavy metals. He designed manufacturing methods and machinery for production of the company's product lines, MetalZorb metals removal media, and StormClean stormwater filtration products. Now, before we get started, we'd like to get an idea of who we're talking to. So please take a moment to answer the poll question on your screen. And now I'll hand it over to Bridget.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. So to start off, this slide says it all. If you have a storm drain, you need a filtration system from CleanWay Environmental Partners. CleanWay approaches product development with a focus on how products are serviced and maintained, ensuring ease of use for the end customer. CleanWay has a long history of innovation, flexibility, nimbly adapting to industry requirements as industry requirements change. Since our company's inception in 1995, our products have been developed in partnership with the Pacific Northwest leader in stormwater services industry. This partnership has allowed CleanWay to develop and consistently improve its products as they are tested in real-world applications. Our StormClean filtration system products provide 100% pollutant capture with our pan that sits right in your catch basin. Our designs are adaptable to retrofit any size basin, whether square, rectangular, round, or variant sizes. Variant sizes can include dual strainer inserts and A-frame installations for flow-through basin designs. We proudly manufacture all of our products here in Portland, Oregon, with the sturdiest and most durable materials available. Here we see our filtration systems are easy to install and easy to maintain, reducing operational costs. These systems should be maintained on a regular basis to ensure continued performance and functionality. This is cleaning and replacing your filters regularly. Systems can be cleaned either with a Vector truck or cleaned manually, and our sample ports allow for easy water sampling. As I mentioned, one of the best features our products provide is our proprietary sampling port. This provides easy access to water testing by simply removing the grate, removing the sample port cover, and grabbing a sample. This is a great feature for states that require sampling at each catch basin, and it's a simple way to compare the direct impact of your filter. Our catch basins are available in both stainless steel and powder coated, and they include a rigid strainer, as you can see on the very right of your screen, a filtration system, whether woven fabric or a filtration media as our MetalZorb, and these that address pollutants at your site, and our support pan that snugly fits in your catch basin with your specifications. And here we have a chart outlining the correct filtration element for your pollutants at your site. Each filtration insert includes a rigid strainer, and the 4 at the bottom help you figure out which element is correct at your site. Identifying the best options for your site-specific pollutant of concern is part of the consultative filtration solutions we provide here at CleanWay. When metals are the main issue, we incorporate MetalZorb filled inserts, as you can see in the second on your page. These can also include a vermiculite blend, and we display our other filtration elements as well. Our systems provide both primary and secondary filtration. As you can see in the first chart, our primary filtration includes this rigid salt strainer that removes major trash and debris. Secondary filtration is taken care of by our filter elements, both fabric and our MetalZorb media. Our curb inlet filters, which function like our catch basin inserts, remove debris and pollutants from stormwater runoff to keep drainage waterways clear and prevent contamination. This storm filter provides an effective method for street-side inlet protection. We customize our filtration systems to fit curb inlet configurations and can modify our basins to fit virtually any curb inlet. We just need your measurements.
Well, we're about to enjoy a video showing how simple it is for a Vector truck to clean and replace the filter element on a storm clean insert system. We're looking right now at a man who's going to leisurely walk up and take care of this whole thing by using the muscle and energy provided by his Vector truck. Very little strain on himself, simply removes the grate, get that out of the way, and drops his nozzle right down into the system. Our systems are all built robust enough to repeat this activity over and over again without damage. As you can see right now, he's washing the debris and sticky matter and everything off the outside of the strainer. Keep in mind that the filter element is still in place, so any of the material that is released from that strainer during that washing operation is captured in the filter element that is still in the ground, so we don't have a spill or a release of any pollutant at all. Now he's going to drop right back down in there and extract the entire filter system, what is remaining of it now, right up out of there by using the suction and the hydraulics built onto the truck. Again, you'll notice that very little effort is required by the operator, most of it done by the machine itself. When he re-enters the catch basin to retrieve the filter element and pan, The suction of the Vector truck pulls all the remaining liquid out of the catch basin, once more preventing any spill that might occur during the operation of cleaning. Now we're watching him attach a new filter element to the pan. Very simple procedure, does not require any special tools, and very simple to understand, easy, very brief training. He inserts the rigid strainer back down inside the filter element. The maintenance and reinstallation of a new filter element is complete. It really can be that easy.
So here we see our downspout filtration systems, which can be used to capture rooftop runoff, which often contains zinc and other heavy metals from metal or galvanized roofs. Our downspout filtration systems are a highly effective solution, and like your catch basin inserts, this system also includes a rigid strainer and a filtration medium of your preference, typically our MetalZorb. The installation is simple, and maintenance is easy, reducing your operating costs. Here we have our patented absorption booms, which efficiently and effectively capture and retain dissolved heavy metals, sediment, debris, oil, and other pollutants, and stop them from entering downstream waterways. CleanWay provides a cost-effective solution for protecting inlets and waterways with a flexible design that works well where other filtration options may not be viable. These weighted booms stay in place with no staking or trenching required and are available in sizes 3, 6, 8, and 10 foot long. Our MetalZorb product, available exclusively from CleanWay, is a non-toxic, biodegradable, polymer-coated cellulose sponge that can achieve 90% reduction in pollutants in as little as 20 seconds of contact time. MetalZorb is capable of recovering valuable metals, like gold, from mining operations and industrial sites. Since it absorbs dissolved metals, used filters and media can be disposed as solid waste. Please contact your local disposal authority to check with their regulations and requirements. For removing dissolved heavy metals, MetalZorb is our patented medium for extensive stormwater, wastewater, and process water applications. It is a high-capacity sponge filtration medium that effectively removes and recovers dissolved heavy metals, including lead, mercury, zinc, and gold, found in storm and industrial water discharge. With MetalZorb, there is never any backwashing required, alleviating the problems associated with disposal of dirty backwash or regenerate chemicals. MetalZorb's low flow impedance allows for high performance in busy industrial settings. MetalZorb is non-leaching, so captured pollutants won't escape, and we can ship MetalZorb anywhere in the United States. And we also have experience helping our international clients to address their local pollutant considerations.
I'd like to take a moment to talk about what makes our inserts and various products unique and especially useful to people. Firstly, I'd like to refer to the sample port. We have a large 4.5-inch opening built into each one of the pans that allows the user to sample in real time the untreated or raw water and the treated water and compare the two. one of the few best management practices I know of that you can immediately verify the effectiveness just by grabbing a couple of samples and running them into your lab. The next thing is Vector truck serviceability. Our products were incubated, designed, and feature all the elements required to make them very easy to Vector truck service. They're robust enough, as I mentioned earlier, to repeat that over and over again. All the components that are wear components are easily changed or repaired and replaced at reasonable cost. And they're all human-sized so that people can easily handle them manually as well. We developed these products in close association with one of the largest Vector truck operations in the Pacific Northwest. And this helped us identify problem areas where service was concerned, and we worked with that Vector truck company to improve this product to the point where it was the simplest possible way that we knew of to have a catch basin insert be serviceable very quickly and with the least amount of training required by the operator and no hand tools or special machinery needed to install or service this product. Once more, the robustness of the product and its full transparency as far as how it works makes it easy for the on-site maintenance personnel to understand and keep it in good maintenance and great working order.
So here we have some more information, links that you can follow to get more information on our product. This first link, video link on the top left of your screen, is about a 10-minute product video that goes more into depth of how our products are used out and deployed out in the field. So it'll give you a better idea without having it hands-on. And then we have another video below that to help you measure your catch basin if you're interested in getting one of our Storm Clean filtration inserts. This will help you where we have a lot of questions on our client worksheet. And then we have a few other links. The absorption booms, MetalZorb, and CleanWay applications are links to our website and our resources there. And then if you're interested in getting a quote and contacting us, you can follow the link to get a quote. And we would like to thank you for taking your time to learn more about CleanWay and our products. If you are on Twitter, please follow us. We're at CleanWay USA. And you can follow the link to our website, which has all the resources and info we've talked about today. If you'd like to get in contact with us and talk with us directly, we have our toll-free number up on the board, and we're here from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, Pacific time. And now we're going to go into questions, open question and answer time.
Okay, thank you so much, Bridget and Matt. Before we get into the questions, we just wanted to let you know that we understand there were some technical difficulties with some of the documents in the resource tab. Those have been fixed and updated, so those should be working now. Okay, so first question. How often do the MetalZorb inserts need to be replaced?
This will depend on your site and your pollutants in concern. We typically recommend replacing these filters twice a year, at the beginning of the rainy season and then midway through. But we do have a resource on our website, and you can also contact us directly. That helps you. It's a capacity calculator that helps you determine more site-specific lifespan of those filters.
Okay. And how hard would it be to clean the catch basin and sediment filter without using a vac?
It's actually quite simple. The rigid strainer is equipped with a bale-type bucket handle on it where a person can just reach down and pull it right up out of there. If it's allowed to get really plugged and full, it can hold slightly over 1 cubic foot of material. So if it's really plugged up with heavy material, it can weigh up to 60 pounds, but hopefully it doesn't get neglected that long. And then each of the filter elements have a mechanism included with them where they can be removed either by using a grate hook or just reaching down inside the fabric elements. All have a handle attached to them where you can pull them up out of there. Again, the worse they get clogged, the heavier they become. At some point, manually, people may need an assistant to help hoist the whole thing up out of the catch basin, but they are all designed lightweight enough to be easily managed by just manual servicing, and very simple to replace all the components or reinstall them. Not a problem for most on-site management and maintenance people to deal with.
Okay. Next question. What range of flow rates can the catch basin inserts accommodate with MetalZorb?
The design flow rate for a brand new filter element is 40 gallons per minute nominal with an 80 gallon per minute peak. These are based on brand new element flow rate characteristics that we verified with CleanWater and typical no-head passive flow-through conditions. Of course, they're like any other filter element. As they start to plug or blind and the flow-through becomes diminished, as does the effectiveness of the absorption function of the MetalZorb. However, typical monthly site inspections will easily reveal if the media element is becoming clogged. That would trigger a service event and restore it right back to its 40 GPM nominal and 80 gallons per minute maximum. And they do all incorporate an emergency bypass at the very top should the filter get neglected and become completely clogged and some small pooling start to occur. The pooling will dissipate through the emergency bypass if that were to actually take place.
Okay, next question. Can your filters be fitted for oil and water separators? This particular person has a car wash project that's in need of particular contaminant filtering.
Well, yes, we call those type of applications variants. We would be delighted to work with this person. We would need some basic drawings and what have you of the oil water separator that they want to treat, just so that we know how best to deploy the product within that structure. There are questions that we need to have answered, such as what type of access the oil water separator has, what its basic configurations are, what its design flow rate is. But we can banter back and forth over the email or over the telephone to resolve those questions. It's not unusual for sites to want to apply our products in that very application. So we're kind of used to doing that sort of thing, yes.
Okay. Another person says, we utilize a bulk filter system at the end of all catch basins. Is MetalZorb available in bulk to use in this application?
Yes, we do sell MetalZorb by the cubic foot, so we can do that, and we provide. You can provide your own vessel to house the MetalZorb in, but we also do have mesh bags that we sell to go along with that. Do you want to?
Okay. What is the advantage, if at all, of using the stainless steel pans over the coated ones?
Well, in some cases, the powder-coated mild steel is very robust, but in coastal locations and areas where, you might have some acidic flows, such as around drop boxes or trash compactors and that sort of thing, we do recommend stainless steel. It would be a matter of the client's preference, and we do always recommend people that live in coastal communities, because of all the salt, or in the northern states where they salt the roads, that they opt for the stainless steel construction material.
Okay, next question. Has any thought or research been conducted for targeting dissolved iron, one of the pollutants of concern for stationary sources?
Yes, dissolved iron is among the metals, ions that are adsorbed by MetalZorb. MetalZorb is an absorber of the dissolved ion, as opposed to a direct filter for the particulate matter. It is a good physical filter and will remove oxidized iron to some extent. However, bear in mind, most iron, once it's loose out in the environment, picks up an oxygen and becomes a oxidized iron material, or basically what everybody knows as rust. And that can be challenging, but as long as it remains dissolved in its dissolved state, it readily absorbs onto MetalZorb.
Okay, next question. What keeps the filter element in place? In other words, since the filter element is hanging, can it slip off into the basin? What prevents this from happening?
The design features in the pan include a tapered collar that's, I don't know whether we have it actually exhibited on, I think, slide number 2 or 3. You can see a tapered collar in there, and then the filter elements all have a corresponding rigid ring, which will not allow the filter element to pass down through that tapered collar. It sits about in the middle of it, and it's absolutely fixed in place, yet once it's uncoupled, the metal collar, or the ring, the rigid ring inside, it's easily removed. So once it's snapped into place with the ring, it will not slip out of that tapered collar and drop through.
Okay. If a specific industrial application tends to blind MetalZorb rather quickly with suspended sediments, can it be backwashed to gain additional life? We
really don't recommend backwashing the MetalZorb sponge due to the fact that it entraps a lot of particulate material in its internal structure, and backwashing could loosen that material but not completely remove it from the column or from the installation and the vessel that it's held in. So we typically do not recommend backwash. Another feature of MetalZorb is it is very lightweight. So because it's very close to neutral buoyancy, backwashing can reverse the column and just compact it against the outlet during the backwashing procedure. It is very difficult to blind off or clog a column or an installation of MetalZorb just because of its nature. It is an open-celled cellulose sponge, as Bridget mentioned earlier, I believe. So it is very resistant to clogging. However, if there's a lot of gross material in the influent, we do recommend some type of pre-screening before it comes in contact with the MetalZorb.
Okay, next question. What is the hydraulic capacity of the filtration system? How much water flow can the system handle before it becomes flooded?
I think we're talking here about the typical catch basin insert, and once more, the design is gallon in, gallon out at 40 gallons per minute. In other words, it's a passive system. It has the impedance to flow when new is so small, it's very difficult to even measure. If we're talking about a very large column-wise application for, say, on-site industrial wastewater treatment, again, impedance to flow is incredibly low. We would be happy to work with people that are in the design phase of something that's out of our ordinary scope to determine what those flow rates might be. But once more, due to its physical nature, MetalZorb has incredibly low impedance to flow, and it will not compact over time like other granular mediums will. So it's amazing as far as what you could put through it and how dirty it can get without blinding or restricting the flow.
Okay, so this next question is with regard to the video that you showed. They said the video didn't show what the driver did with the filter he removed. What is the method of disposal?
Because the dissolved metals are absorbed with inside the MetalZorb material, we do it's non-leaching. You can dispose of these as solid waste. We recommend drying them out and disposing of them, but this can vary based on your state regulations and your particular disposal authority, so we would check with them before you go ahead and do this. But we do know we do that. And around here we have a few that allow them to be disposed as solid waste.
And a lot of Vector truck operations do have what I refer to as a chase truck. So if they don't have an on-site dumpster or some sort of waste receptacle that's appropriate on-site, generally what the vac truck companies do or the service provider does is remove the exhausted filter media pack and dispose it as part of their service when they come in and service the catch basin filter. It would be something that would be, as Bridget mentioned, site-specific. We encourage people to contact their waste disposal provider and just verify that they will accept that as solid waste. But we have yet to experience a place where people cannot easily dispose of it as typical solid waste.
Okay, what happens if the filters get plugged up during a storm event?
Each filter pan has built into it a emergency bypass. Once the filter is completely clogged, and of course the water starts to accumulate higher and higher and higher into the catch basin itself, once it reaches the top, these emergency bypass openings become available, and then the water bypasses the filter assembly and enters the downstream pipeline unfiltered. So we want to avoid that and keep an eye on those filters. They're very easy to observe the condition of them during the site inspections that occur during a stormwater event. Should be quite apparent to the site maintenance people when they should do a maintenance before such an emergency, a clogging event takes place. But once more, they do have that emergency bypass built right into each and every one.
Okay. Can MetalZorb be used in a pressure filter in a pumped flow? And if so, what pressure can it operate at?
It can be used pump driven, absolutely. It can tolerate any pressures that a typical commercial filter vessel can handle. Typical pumping pressures, 50, 60 psi, are not uncommon. As velocity increases, we recommend that the filter medium not be run at more than 10 gallons per minute per cubic foot. Again, pressure is relatively, it's not going to affect the filter medium nearly as much as velocity would. So I would say that the standard pressure vessel pressures would be no problem at all for MetalZorb to stand up to.
Okay, next question. We have very shallow storm drains. Are the MetalZorb filters made to fit, or are there only standard sizes?
These systems are made to fit. However, there are some limitations on how small we can go with these inserts, but we do work with our customers to figure out a solution that works for them. And in some cases where it is too small to fit an insert, we do deploy the MetalZorb as a media just in a mesh filter bag. And we do have some other options, but we do have the option to go smaller outside of the standard size.
And by filling out the client worksheet and submitting that at any point during the request for information, request for quote, we can immediately determine if typical sizes will apply or we need to come up with some sort of a variant. But the client worksheet is critical so that we can manufacture that support structure so that it exactly fits the proposed host drain structure.
Okay. How much reduction do you get in how much reduction in basin capacity do you experience when a filter is installed?
The insert itself, obviously, I'm not sure that the capacity of the basin, of the sump of the basin, is affected to some degree just by displacement of part of that capacity by the parts of the filter element that extend down into the sump area. Because the components that hang down into that sump are all permeable, I would think the actual displacement of size of the sump would be minimal. I would think less than 15%. I believe that answers that question. I'm not quite sure if I understood the question exactly perfectly, but if I didn't, then I invite that person to shoot me an email and we'll delve into it in more detail.
Okay. How long does the water have to be contained in the MetalZorb?
Well, contact time with MetalZorb affects the total removal. As with any other AB absorption function medium, there is a certain minimal contact time that is required to extract the targeted metal. Again, it varies slightly from one metal to another, and in the catch basin filtration insert, as an example, we, at 40 gallons per minute, we might have very brief contact times available, some as brief as 10 seconds, where we would expect the removal rates to be not as good as if the rain event velocity slowed down and we had 20 seconds of contact time. But even 2 or 3 seconds of contact time is going to show a reduction in heavy metals. But it does vary on conditions, temperature, type of metal to be removed, other constituents that might be in the stormwater, and the condition of the filter element itself. How long has it been in place? As I mentioned, what types of metal are removed. Like a lot of questions in stormwater, the actual answer is it depends. But the MetalZorb media is unique in the fact that very brief contact times can result in high removal of dissolved heavy metal.
Okay, great. The next question is an application question. It says, I have a waste application that contains 3.6 ppm copper and 1.6 ppm zinc, 2,500 gallons per week. The city will not allow the waste to be sent to the city sewer. Is this a good application for MetalZorb?
Yes. On-site wastewater treatment is one of the best applications for MetalZorb because, as Bridget mentioned earlier, no backwash is required, and because the MetalZorb has a very high capacity, it can be, actually I'll mention that the capacity can be as high as 10% of the dry weight of media can be adsorbed heavy metal. These applications where small on-site wastewater treatment is desired or required by regulatory agencies is a very good application. The product requires a small footprint and very simple machinery and apparatus to utilize it. It can even be deployed in a gravity feed situation without much trouble at all. Again, I invite this person to reach out to me and I'll offer up some examples of how this has been done before, and we can come up with a solution, I'm confident.
Great. Okay. I believe that is all of our questions. If there happen to be any questions we didn't get to today, they'll be answered offline. So that wraps up our webinar. After the webinar ends, you will receive a certificate of completion via email. Please also take a few moments to complete the exit survey that will appear on your screen. Your response is greatly appreciated. On behalf of Stormwater Solutions and CleanWay Environmental Partners, I would like to thank everyone for their participation. This webinar will be archived within 24 hours, available at the URL you used today, as well as estormwater.com. So long, everybody.